welcome back. Thank you for joining me this morning. I've got a couple of projects to share that I've been working on this week, and both of them are Christmas related, so I'd like to share those with you. I picked up a copy of this magazine a few weeks ago. It's called Somerset Holiday, and they usually come out with an issue of this every year. And I found a really fun project in here. Okay, it's called Faux Vintage Elevating Inexpensive Ornaments. And this is by Amber Demian. And so I read through how she approached doing the project, and then I kind of did my own spin on it. It was very, very easy and lots of fun. So what you do is you pick up some of the small plastic ornaments. I've got this package here. There were 12 in this package for $1.25 at Dollar Tree. And before I went into Dollar Tree, I stopped in at Michael's and I picked these up. Whoops. They're just a little bit smaller. These were on sale for $2.99 a tube, and I picked up 2 of them. The colors are pretty, but these are just a tiny bit bigger. And I wanted these because they had really nice textures on them. You can see these here kind of look like a pine cone. And then some of the other ones in the package, here's a couple more. They have this sort of ribbed texture to them. These are a tiny bit smaller. They're a little bit more expensive, but I love the colors on these, so I thought these would be fun. So what I did was I took the ornament, and you brush Mod Podge onto the ornament first, and then you lay small torn pieces of white tissue paper over it, and then making sure to take your brush and, get the tissue paper down into the texture so it's adhered completely. And then you put another layer of Mod Podge over it, and then you allow these to dry. And then when they're finished drying, you can either leave them as is, like this one I did leave plain, okay? I didn't add anything on top of it. And then you can also paint the little toppers on these to look antiqued by mixing. I got some gold metallic paint, a tiny drop of black, and the silver, and I just mixed a little bit of all 3 of these colors together to give me sort of a pewter look or an aged tin look. Let me see if I can show that up close a little bit. Kind of hard to see on the camera, but it does help to take away that plastic. All right, so these, let me see if I can show you on the how shiny bright these are just out of the package. They're just sort of, they really look new and shiny. So by painting up the tips a little bit, dulls them down and makes them look like they're antique. So I was really pleased with the results. Here's another one. This is a smooth surfaced one. And I put the tissue paper on, and then I went over it and I painted some of the metallic silver paint over it. And then sponged some of it off just to give it more of a worn patina. And then I tied on the top of this one, I tied some of the dyed seam binding from my scrap cabin. And this is in the smoke color, so I thought that would be pretty. Okay, and let's see what else. This one has a slightly different texture as well. And this one, similarly, I put the white tissue paper pieces on first, and then I put a little bit of silver paint over the top of the Mod Podge after they dried, and then just rubbed off some of the paint. They're really, really pretty. This one I just tied up, whoops. This one I just tied up with some of the twine. You can pick this metallic crochet cotton up in Hobby Lobby. It comes in a tube. And typically they have it on the end caps of the yarn in the yarn department, and they'll sell them for 30% off if you hit it on sale, So anyway, it comes in all these different colors. You know, there's the silver metallic, the white metallic, the silver and white, and then the gold. And then, of course, there's this gold and white as well. So I just used that to tie on the top. Okay, this one I especially love. Okay, it's got, I put some glitter on top. I rubbed a little bit of gold paint on the top of the dried Mod Podge after I put the tissue paper on. Then I put the gold paint on, and then when that dried, I put a layer of more Mod Podge and then some glitter. And then I took some of this, I've got 2 rolls of this I picked up at a flea market for next to nothing, 50 cents each. And I used some of this gold organza ribbon, and I hot glued a bow onto that, and then I just put some of the Hobby Lobby crochet cotton on the top. I just think that's so pretty, really pretty. And then these 2, I haven't finished these off yet. I haven't put the ties on the top or added anything else, but these, again, just have some paint painted over them, and then I took a rag and wiped off the excess paint. These are both gold paint, and was left with this kind of a look. But don't they look pretty? I mean, they really look like vintage ornaments now. So I'm going to add these to my Christmas tree this year once I get that set up. Yeah, that was lots of fun. You can tie the tops of these with all kinds of different things. Here's a gold cording that I picked up at the flea market this summer. Of course, the ribbons that I showed you, and then I got this whole bag full of very thick craft yarns here, and then some pearl cottons. So you could really use whatever you like to tie on the top and hang it on your tree. Okay, so that is the first project. And then the other one I worked on is this adorable little vintage pipe cleaner styrofoam ball ornament. And it's a little snowman made of styrofoam balls. And what I did here was I created the base with my die cut machine, and I layered up 3 layers of the die cuts out of 110-pound cardstock with glue, and they're nice and stiff. They make a beautiful base. And my dies come in several different sizes, so depending on the size of your project, you can just cut out the base that you need, the size of the base that you need. And then I used assorted sizes of styrofoam balls, and I cut the bottom off the larger one to make the body, and then put smaller, the bowl fillers that you can buy in the craft store. They come in a bag. They're about 3/4 of an inch, and I just cut those in half and glued them on the bottom for feet. And then a smaller styrofoam ball for the head. And then I added some of the chenille bump stems. I cut them and put them into the side of the ball for arms. And I distressed them a little bit with some vintage distress spray and wiped most of it off because this is very dark. The other thing I did here on the hat is instead of using the spray, I used distress oxide in, I think it's called antique linen, just to give the pipe cleaner a similar color to the snowman, which after I created the body, I painted with the folk art vintage white. It's a creamy white. So this would look a little, the snowman would look a little distressed and antiqued. But I thought he came out really cute. I used Sharpie to make the face, and then a glass-headed pin stuck into the nose. I cut it down to size and stuck it in there with a little hot glue. And then added some little felt mittens and a felt hat. I created a little pattern to make the hat, and I added a little snowflake button on there with some hot glue, and a felt scarf, and a little candy cane charm in his hand. And this was just, I stamped it, and then I distressed it with antique linen, and then added some glitter to the whole thing. The body here, the base, and the sign. And there's the back. So cute. This was a lot of fun. I would like to make some more of these. Really, really fun project. Now, this project I was inspired by Tammy over at Creative Girl Vintage. If you haven't been to her channel and you enjoy doing vintage projects, she does a lot of three-dimensional, vintage style figurines and things like that, and dioramas and such. So she's a very talented and creative person. You know, check out her channel. So that is all I have to share for today. I hope you enjoyed watching my projects, and I hope you have a great weekend. Take care. Bye for now.